everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be covering the installation of an hour meter on my new 7.5 horsepower Eaton compressor, but this video should be helpful for anyone that's wanting to install an hour meter, regardless of the compressor brand. I think the most important thing would be is whether or not you have a box like this. These are typically going to be associated with the larger compressors. Oftentimes they will have a magnetic start motor, and so the innards and the circuits will be inside of this box. But like I said, it should be pretty applicable to any hour meter that you're using. Now, the hour meter that I have is just one that I actually did purchase from the compressor manufacturer from Eaton. You can certainly get these on Amazon and other places, and they might actually be cheaper. This was just a little pricey getting it directly from the compressor manufacturer. It comes with a bracket on the back basically that cinches down and is going to cinch down and basically hold the meter in place. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Okay, so a lot of times these meters, when you open up the box, they'll come with some instructions and a template. I may have misplaced mine. I don't remember. I don't recall this particular meter coming with any instructions or a template, so I just created my own with a little piece of cardboard here. But definitely, you know, when you get your meter, make sure you look through your packaging and see if they've actually included a template. So it's really no big deal. You can make some measurements. Now, I am actually going to put my my meter up in this left-hand corner of the box, and you can see I've already got it marked out on some tape here. And for me, because this is round, you will see a lot of these meters that are a little skinnier. They're more of a rectangular shape. But I basically figured out where I wanted to have it, and up at the top of the box is where I wanted it. So I just flipped it up upside down there and traced around. And then I took my template and got it in there evenly distributed, you know, equidistance inside of the circle. And then now you can see I've got my marks there. And what I'm going to now come in here and do now is I just got to cut this little rectangle out, and then this should pop right in there. So it would just sit basically in there like that. Now, when you do this, you want to be somewhat strategic in where you put this meter, because it is going to sit inside of the box. You've got the two spades here where your connections are going to go. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure you have enough room when you stick that down inside of the hole. You want to make sure that you have enough room on the back side that you're not hitting any of the circuits back behind, or I won't call them breakers, but the circuits in the box back behind this. So that's one thing that you want to make sure you do, is just make sure you have enough room. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and get this all cut, and we'll get the meter stuck in, and we'll do a test fit, and then we'll talk a little bit about how to get it wired. Alright, so after just a little bit of cutting and filing, I've got the hour meter fitting exactly where I want it, nice and flush in the box here. And now we're ready just to go ahead and put the back on. And all I've got to do here is take this little plastic back here. It's going to cinch down. It basically ratchets down on top over the pressure switch there, and you just can hear it ratcheting, and just push it till it's snugged up. And there you have it. So we're all set here. Now what we'll do is we'll go over to the compressor, and we'll start looking at the magnetic start box and look at the circuit block and figure out where we want to connect our wires. And then ultimately those wires are going to connect just into the back spades here, and then we should be all set. I'm back over at the magnetic starter box now. And just kind of checking the circuit block here to see where I want to make those connections for my hour meter. So yours may be different than this. I know everybody's using a little bit different block. For example, I've seen a lot of these blocks that have spades back behind here with the pressure switch wires. This one does not have this, so the pressure switch wires are actually directly connected to the hots coming in. So if I were to put my tester here, we can see that that one's hot there, and then over here this is hot. And what we have is we have that white wire here, right here, the skinny white wire, that is going straight to the pressure switch. and then we've got a red jumper back behind there that comes down below. So these are always going to be full-time hot, and so you don't want to hook your hour meter directly to these, otherwise it's going to run all of the time. So what we want to do is we want to find somewhere that we can connect where there's only going to be hot when the motor is running. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually look down below here. These are actually, this is the hot that goes to the motor once the switch comes on, and this black one here, right through there, that one will also be hot when the switch is on and the motor is running. So we'll check them right now, and we'll see here that there's no juice here, even though there's juice up above. And then if we check the black one here, there's no juice here. So I'm just using just a generic tester here. I'll actually get on here with my my voltmeter, and I will check all of this before I actually make any final connections, but just for the purposes of showing you what I'm doing. So the plan here now is to basically come in, and we're gonna connect into both of these bottom wires here, and that way the meter will only run when the motor is running. And what I'm going to use is I'm just going to use some 14 gauge wire here. That's more than enough. And on the bottom end here, I'll use my ferrules, and then we'll put a spade on the other end, and we'll be able to connect right into that hour meter. Okay, so now I'm just going to make those connections here at the bottom here. I've got the circuit breaker flipped, so we should be good. No power, no issues here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these two leads out here to the motor, and I'm going to then include the ferrule end of my wiring for the hour meter. I've got the wiring all connected here now for the hour meter, and again, I'm just going in here on the load side directly into the hot wires that will go to the motor once the compressor is kicked on. Some people actually have the flexibility to connect their hour meter up above here in some separate spades. I can't do this here because the way that this is set up from the manufacturer, the pressure switch is actually wired directly into the block where the wires are coming in from the breaker panel, so they're always going to be hot. So I'm just going to go down here on the load side. I always make sure I give myself enough length here so that I can plug into the hour meter, and then when I pull the box off, I have enough room to pull it out towards me and get inside of here. So don't short yourself there on that wiring. Make sure you have enough wiring so that you can easily pull the box off. The other thing that I'll do is I'll twist the wires together just so that I have one strand here, and I'll kind of get it up here out of the way. Normally I like to use insulated spades, but I didn't have any, so I think this will be fine. I've just got them taped off with some electrical tape. And so now the next thing is just to get it all connected up and closed in, and we'll fire it up and see if that hour meter is working. The smallest unit of measure on the hour meter that I purchased is 1/10 of an hour, so that's the same as 6 minutes. So every 6 minutes that the compressor runs, it's going to flip over 0.1 units until you get to an hour, and then at that point you would have 1.0 hours. So I've ran the compressor for about 12 minutes, so when I kick it on here, you should see that the hour meter is showing 0.2 hours for the 12 minutes that it's ran, and then it should turn over to 0.3 as soon as I get to 18 minutes. Hey, I think the hour meter is working the way that it should. The digital readout's counting up every 6 minutes, so this is going to be a really nice feature in terms of keeping track of the runtime, especially when it comes to changing the oil and the filters in compliance with the Eaton warranty. So I'm going to keep an eye on it here for the next few weeks, but I think for now that's going to be a wrap.